Forgot to bring my ice skates. That's slippery. Hey there everyone, welcome to a place I've been to before, but I've never made a video from. The place I'm referring to is Lackawanna State Park. This is a very large park here in Lackawanna County that features a really large lake, campgrounds, and well over a dozen hiking trails. And today, we're going to pick two trails to find out where they go and to find out what we'll see along the way. But the only way to find out is to come along with me. So where I'm starting off is the dam area of the lake. It's one corner of the lake here. There are numerous areas to start out at. I came to this particular location because there's two trails that I want to hike today. And I picked them for a reason because right now we are in the middle of March and it is still winter according to the calendar. So the first trail we're taking, which is just in front of me here, is known as the Frost Hollow Trail. It's a very wintry name. It's going to go kind of parallel to the lake, but we're going to be in a wooded section. We're going to follow it to the end, and then we're going to backtrack on a trail called the Snowflake Trail. Again, very wintry name. The trails do go parallel to each other, but they're also spread apart. So we're going to see some different scenery, different things along the way. I don't know what's at the end, don't know what we'll see along the way. But as I've always mentioned, the journey is almost more important than the destination. So along the way, we'll snap some photos, try to show some nature's carpet, and just taking a beautiful day here at Lackawanna State Park. But got a lot of hiking to do, and I have to start off with climbing a hill. So come on, let's get moving. I'm sure you can hear the roar of the water. We are essentially walking next to and rising above the spillway of the dam. Not a great view, unfortunately. It is kind of thick here, but the trail, though, does go alongside of it. It's not a very open trail as of yet. It is going through a pretty neat section of forest here. But okay, I think I'm on the main trail now. There is a sign here. Let's double check that. I'm also seeing some pretty neat natural features. I think I maybe came up the wrong trail, but still took me to the right area. This right here is a marker, Frost Hollow. So we are indeed on the right trail. We're going to follow it alongside the lake. It will get quieter as we go. But just looking though, there's a lot of pine here. A lot of little natural holes, some big boulders. But it's really spread out. You can see really far into the woods, which is what I like. The one thing I'm going to be dealing with today is a lot of mud and water and soft ground, because just 4 days ago we did receive about 6 inches of snow, but immediately after we had a kind of early heat wave, which is lasting into the rest of this week with temperatures in the 60s. So most of it is melted, but there's a lot of runoff and the ground is pretty soft and saturated, so I need to be careful with my footing, otherwise I could inadvertently get a boot full of mud, which wouldn't be fun. There is a literal stream flowing right across the trail here. All this water is coming from somewhere up here on the mountainside. And I'm guessing this location here sees runoff pretty frequently, as long as there's a lot of shade, as well as a lot of shade, because look at the abundance of nature's carpet. It is everywhere. That is a nice little peaceful area. It reminds me of something you'd see like on a model train display. If they were modeling after a wilderness area, where you'd have the little flowing creek, some fallen logs, and some greenery. That's what comes to mind. But looks like up ahead it may dry out a little bit. And I do see they have some, I guess you call them pavers in place here. That water is cold, but it feels really good. There is something up on top here. There's a fence up there and a building and a flag. I'm sure it's related to the park itself. But the trail, as I'll show you, is opening up a bit more. And looks like it's going to go straight towards that hillside, but then kind of veer off to the left, because we do stay in relation to the lake, rather parallel to it. We are up higher too. The lake is down there. From here to the lake, I'd say maybe about 80 feet or so, and the lake does still appear to be frozen, although I'm not sure how thick the ice is. Now coming into a nice shady part of the forest. And this is what I saw on Google Maps, is the trail coming through this section here. Now the one thing I do want to point out, actually two things. One is that this is probably going to be a longer video, just because I've never been here before as far as on this trail or making a video of it. So I want to make it as inclusive as possible so that those who can't get out and do this for yourself can enjoy it through me. Also, I'm going to keep this video as raw and natural as possible, meaning no music, no sound effects. If I do snap a photo here and there, I will insert it, you know, right then and there with a little snapshot sound effect. But other than that though, you know, no special effects, no anything fancy, just nature and us. All right, Snowflake Trail. I believe that's what we're gonna be coming back on. So Frost Hollow is going to go up in elevation, so we are going to come up on that. Later on, we will be coming down this trail towards you guys. So we will definitely see that sign again, but now it's time to veer right and head up there. There's a blaze marker there, so we are headed in the right direction. It's not terribly steep, but it is definitely going uphill. It's a pretty manicured trail as well. Now off to the right, farther up, there are some posted signs. I believe it's a different property up there. As long as you're staying on the trail and down near the lake, it's not really an issue. Tell you what, it's getting pretty warm out here. I have you guys sitting on a log here, covered with some nice nature's carpet, so looks like a good photo opportunity. I'm gonna snap it right now. That is a lot better. Also, while we're out here, keep your eyes peeled for him. We may run into him. It seems like his kind of woods. All right, let's go. The one thing I'm contending with, whether it's cold or warm out, is a runny nose. That is something I've been dealing with most of my life, and whenever I do anything, you know, physical, or even after eating, my nose just likes to run. Where it's running to, I don't know, but it is a pain sometimes. And there's a neat little natural feature. There's a gigantic boulder coming out of the mountain here, out of the hillside, covered in moss, but underneath it looks like a little pocket. Doesn't go in, but it's definitely a nice little area for an animal to take refuge, possibly even a person if you had to weather out a storm. But yeah, that is some nice looking moss. And some ferns growing out of it too. Oh, it's like a sponge. It's so soft and damp. And here's some finer material. It's like almost velvet-like. I love that stuff. And in the wintertime, as nice as it looks even better come the summertime. One other thing I will mention too is that I am working up, you know, a sweat, as I mentioned. But I'm also, you know, getting plenty of oxygen in my lungs. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because just a few months ago, I wouldn't be able to do this. I was on oxygen and I had a hard time climbing steps, let alone hiking a trail through the mountain here. So just the fact that I'm able to be out here and do this and to share it with you guys, I do not take it for granted one bit. I am so happy, so appreciative, and just try to soak in every moment that I can. And places like this really help you do that. It's a pretty neat tree right here, and no, not right ahead of you, behind you. And I had you guys stuck between that cactus looking tree, and there is another arrow, which means we continue on this way. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to stop for just a moment. I'm not going to say anything. I want you just to listen and hear what I hear. And what that is basically nothing. It's very quiet. Aside from a chainsaw in the far distance here and there is not much of anything going on here as far as animals, people, water, roadways, anything. So just enjoy this moment of silence. Let me know if you get tired or need a drink break. I did bring some water, so we can always take a seat on one of these big logs or rocks and enjoy some high quality H2O. Yeah, so this is interesting because this trail has veered pretty far off from the snowflake trail that we're taking on our way back. So everything that we're seeing here may not look the same on the way back on the other trail. So I'm kind of curious as to how it's going to compare to this one. So just keep that in mind. What you're seeing now may look similar or completely different. And it looks like we have to cross a stream here. Yeah, this is too good of an opportunity to pass up for a photo, so let me set you guys down. You can take a little break. I'm going to snap a couple photos. Not really liking this section right here. This is, oh, it does not look good. Pretty soft and muddy. Try to stay to the outer edges here. All right, wasn't too bad. Looked worse than it was. And it is considerably cooler back here, but it feels good though. It probably dropped about 3 to 5 degrees. And I do hear water in the distance, which you may or may not be able to hear. I guess that little creek that we crossed is flowing down into the lake with probably some little waterfalls. Yeah, so far I am loving this though. It is a really nice trail that's got a little bit of everything. Some hills, some rocks, some trees, some beautiful carpet. Oh, look at this tree here. I don't know if those are mushrooms or a type of fungus. It's up the whole tree. Reminds me of barnacles, like on a pier or something at the ocean. That is pretty neat. I'm going to give you a shot looking up here. Yeah, that is something else. If you guys know what that is, feel free to share it in the comment section. Speaking of comments, feel free to take a moment to pause the video and to comment down below and tell me what you think so far. And what I mean by that is, what do you think of the trail? What do you think of the different shots I'm giving you, both first person view and side perspective, and what I'm able to kind of share along the way. All right, so I'm going to continue on. I'm not sure how much farther I have to go. I don't really want to look at maps. I just want to enjoy the trail. So once I get to something a bit more exciting, I will bring it back. And once we do switch to the snowflake trail, well, I'll definitely bring you on board for that as well. So I'm gonna cover some ground and I'll see you in just a moment. All right, so I was wrong. It didn't take long for me at all to bring it back. I came across this old, looks like a property boundary fence or wall. It's a stone wall, goes pretty much the entire length in a straight line. Typically you saw these on farms and older homesteads where it would separate one property from another, and we are basically essentially walking right through it. But it is still standing strong, and I'm guessing it's been here for a long time. I'm going to capture just a photo or two of it, and then we're going to continue on along the trail, which is much more smaller now, opening up a bit more and still saturated. So it's not the best conditions, but we're making do. But just wanted to point this out to you. something from the past still lingering here along the Frost Hollow Trail. Just past another property border wall, and there's yet another one up ahead. So that's 3 so far, and it's opening up again. It's nice and what do I want to call it? Nice and exposed, I guess you could say. I could see for a long distance here. But what I did find though is this nice little flat rock feature here next to another wall. I think this would be a nice little spot to stop, take a little break, get some of that high quality H2O, and then we're going to continue on. That rock was a bit too wet, so sitting on this wall here. You guys thirsty? Can you even see me? I don't know if you could. Hang on. That's better. I did bring a few snacks too, but not in the mood for that right now. Just a little thirsty. Taking the hoodie off was the right decision. I'm sweating, but not as bad. Thankfully, there's no humidity, at least very low humidity. I'm in ample shade from time to time. And certain parts of the landscape just have lower temperatures, so it's actually a perfect day for doing this. Do have a little bit of sweat going on in the back of my t-shirt from the backpack. That is common. Can't do much about that, but otherwise I'm feeling really good. You know, the hills do take a little bit out of me, but I'm doing fine. I'm not really getting too wiped out. Just sometimes have to slow down my pace just a bit. But otherwise, you know, I'm feeling really good. Hopefully you guys are too. It's not too bad. The one thing I'm going to ask though, before we get moving, is to leave me some feedback as per this video. Not only about doing it again, but if I do it again, are there other things you'd like me to focus on that maybe I didn't do in this video, such as showing more off the sides of the trail, or more in front of the trail, or, you know, maybe less talking. I mean, I try to do a balance of each. You know, I don't try to keep it just to one thing. I do give you natural sound, I do give you some commentary, I do give you different views. But, you know, if there's something I did that you would like to see more of, feel free to let me know. I do plan on coming back again this year. Probably even bring, you know, Jill or Lily or both of them, because it's just a nice area. It's quiet, and it's just a great park to visit to get some exercise and to do fishing as well. They They stock this with trout each season. So come first day of trout, you know, it's a pretty popular place. And me being more patient now than I used to be, I think I may give fishing a try again. So don't be surprised sometime this year if you do see a fishing video. I'm not a good fisherman. I don't know a whole lot, but I can at least get the basics down to try to have a good time. So those are some, you know, thoughts, thinking down the road. But I'm gonna take another moment here, and then we're gonna get moving. We are indeed making some progress. Right across the lake there is a boat rental place during the summer. There's also a parking lot over there too, so that's another area to park to get access to the trails. But I did see it on the maps as a boat rental place, so who knows, maybe this summer we'll rent a little canoe or a kayak or something, come out on the lake. It's been a while since I've been on a boat, but I think that'd be pretty fun. But there is a trail marker here. Let's see what this says. Okay, so we reached the junction. We came down Frost Hollow. Snowflake goes this way. Now Frost Hollow does continue, and what I believe it actually goes around and ends up over there near the boat rental place somewhere, according to the maps. So I don't think we really need to go any further in that direction, since it's just going to be backtracking the same way. So we are going to veer right here and now take the Snowflake Trail. And this is going to be even closer to the lake than Frost Hollow, so we're definitely going to get some different views. And it's going to take us right back to that other trail marker that we saw where we had to veer right going up the hill. So that wasn't too bad. I'd say, I don't know the distance. I'd have to look up on the website. I would say it's definitely over a mile though, without a doubt. Maybe a mile and a half. It did take me longer because I did stop to obviously get you different shots with the camera and take some photos and had our water break, so it took longer than it would take for the average person probably. Oh, look at this little formation. Two trees growing up. They separated, but they're also joined together right there. And then it's three. But yeah, that is something you don't see too often, with trees having a gap like that and being joined together again. There's some people over there too, a couple of vehicles. I hear some kids running around. They're having a good time on this beautiful late winter, early afternoon day. It's projected to be close to 70 today, and on Friday, which is 2 days away, it's supposed to be in the mid 70s. But then it's supposed to drop down next week into the 40s and 50s, but signs of spring are on the way. And I am slipping and sliding on this muddy trail. Oh, this is going to also offer a great vantage of that wall I mentioned earlier. So you can get a better look at its formation. So there's a section of it there, going up and coming down at an angle over here. And if you really stop and think about it, I mean, building those walls was no easy feat. There was probably, a bunch of farmhands or a group of people that had to do it, because, I mean, we're looking right here at thousands of stones, and they're stacked evenly, and they're, put in place to last a long, long time, which they are doing so. I mean, they're here at least, I would guesstimate, 150 years. But just imagine the labor, intensive labor to construct that just for a property boundary. Oh, look at that too. I'm not sure if that's coincidence, but if you could see the tree right there, or these trees, they're laying like an X. It almost looks like it was intentional, but it could just be a coincidence that they fell that way, but it is definitely forming a cross. I'm going to snap a photo to show you better. But yeah, that, doesn't look 100% natural. Almost looks like something was kind of being built, like a little shelter here or something. Yeah, interesting. Well, the Snowflake Trail is holding true to its name. Some snow and ice. And it's really slick too. It's almost even more slippery when it's starting to melt than when it first falls, because it just gets that really slippery coating on the top of it. And more mud. Now I would assume if you came the right time of year, like well into the summer when there hasn't been recent rain, most of these trails would be pretty bone dry. But anytime after a winter snowfall or thaw, it is inevitable to come across conditions like this. Oh, that was rather deep. Gonna have to make sure we cross a creek somewhere to rinse my boots off. They do have a little coating of mud on them. But feet are still dry and clean. You guys can probably hear we're getting a rather stiff breeze coming right towards us off the lake here. And the crows are very active today. Probably talking about me like, look at this noob walking through the woods. Oh, that was a close one. Good thing for built-in stabilization, because yeah, I jolted. I almost went right down. Yeah, I don't enjoy the muddy trails, but I'm not going to complain really, other than just saying I don't like them, because it is part of nature. Things have to melt and run off, and it doesn't last forever, because now we're getting back into some better conditions here. This looks like the remnants of that first wall that we came across, which goes right down to the shoreline of the lake. So it gives you a pretty good scope as to how long these walls went for. Hundreds of feet, if not even longer. But enough of me yapping. I'm going to shut my mouth for a moment here and just walk and let you guys look and listen to what I'm encountering myself here on the Snowflake Trail. Came to a nice shady spot here. The trail, as you can see behind me, is kind of just snaking its way through this section of forest. Lake's still down there. The Frost Hollow Trail is further up there. And I just found another photo opportunity. This tree is kind of hollowed out here with looks to be, again, I'm not sure if it's mushrooms or fungus, but it stands out with the whiteness, so I'm gonna capture a photo of it. All right. I hear some water. I think we're coming to that stream again that we crossed earlier. So I'll be able to give my boots a little rinsing off. Be able to see pretty far across the lake there. There's some buildings which I believe are public restrooms, and there may or may not be a boat launch there. I think there's 2 boat launches, and it's a pretty big lake. One of the roadways actually goes right across the middle of it. Kind of divides it, but you could go underneath the bridge on a boat. Oh, okay. So this is, all right, I'll show you for yourself instead of me trying to explain it. So I did hear flowing water, but once I reach this area here, it's frozen over. This is actually a basically like a cap. The water is flowing underneath all of this, coming out, going underneath some more ice down to the lake. I'm not going to try to step on that because I would probably crush right through just because it's warm out. And I don't know truly how thick that is. But this is gorgeous. What a shot. Holy crap. Here's a spot to clean my boots off. That was gorgeous. Those are my favorite types of little streams, where they're just cascading down and there's pockets of sunlight coming through and pockets of carpet covering the rocks. That was, wow, so beautiful. And back into the mud. All right, I'm gonna cover some ground again, like usual. Once I do find something of interest, I will return you back. Check out this tree too as I pass it. Another big cactus slingshot tree. Making our way down the trail towards this direction, and there's a little trail here which goes right down to the side of the lake. And it's one thing we haven't checked out yet is the lake itself. This is only one small section of it. Got a wood chipper going off in the distance. So here we are. Lackawanna Lake. There's the roadway over there, which I believe goes over the lake, and boats are able to pass underneath it. But seeing what we're seeing here is only a small section of it. I mean, it goes in different directions, and if I haven't already done so, I'll show it on Google Maps. I mean, it is just a big lake for a state park. Across the way there is a playground. I see some people riding bikes, hear some kids screaming. There are bathhouses over there. That, I believe, is a pool, which I thought was like the bathrooms area. That is actually an outdoor pool, which I forgot they had here. So there's a lot of amenities, you know, if you stay here at the campground. Hiking, biking, swimming, fishing, boating. And I've been on this lake before with my brother a number of years ago. He had a fishing boat. You can only have trolling motors here. But I do remember, you know, being on the lake, going under the bridge, and some pretty good fishing here too. That was probably at least, I'd say 20, 25 years ago. Forgot to bring my ice skates. That's slippery. This is starting to look a bit familiar. I think we are nearing our junction up here of Snowflake and Frost Hollow. I do see a sign up there, the marker, so we're going to confirm that. And I'm also hearing the roar of the spillway of the dam off in that direction, so I know we're heading in the right direction. Yep, this is it. So we have successfully hiked the Frost Hollow and Snowflake Trail. And this is the fork in the road. And we know where they go and what there is to see along the way. And that was the main purpose of this video, was to take a journey to no particular destination, just for our own curiosity to see what these trails have to offer. And I could happily say these trails are not that difficult. You do have to have proper footwear, and I would recommend bringing a drink or a snack, but aside from Frost Hollow having some little inclines and the hill right in the beginning near the dam, it's overall not bad. It is pretty well manicured. If you come the right time of year, you won't have to contend with the mud like I did. With that being said, I really can't decide which one I like better. Both of them have something to offer. Both of them have their own unique views and scenery and different levels of terrain. So there's no wrong answer. Whatever one, you know, essentially floats your boat is good for you. Now, in the future, I will return and take some of the other trails, which are in different parts of the park here. These two are in the same area, that's why I decided to take them. But the other ones are, I think, now near the campground and near the northeast part of the lake. So I will be looking forward to your comments to see what you think as far as, you know, how you enjoyed this video. Keeping it raw and real, no sound effects, showing you a lot of different scenery, different perspectives with views and stuff like that. I tried to make it as fun and creative as I can, even though I'm not terribly experienced at doing stuff like this. It's something I do want to do more in the future of, to show what parks and areas of Pennsylvania do have to offer, especially for those of you who cannot get out on your own. You know, I especially want you to enjoy this. So anyways, guys, I want to thank you first for watching. If you made it to this point, I know it's a longer video. Thank you so much for doing so. I also want to thank you for joining me for this adventure, because I thoroughly had a good time just by myself. Nature, fresh air, water, nature's carpet, mud. Take the good with the bad, but I really had a good time. In all, I spent about 2 hours here, and that's just because I took my time and really wanted to enjoy it, which I definitely did. To see more nature-related videos, feel free to check the playlist down below. And if you haven't already done so, you can follow me on Facebook. I do have a free public page. You find the link down below, but it's facebook.com/JPVideos81. On that page, I do share some photos, videos, and details about things going on regarding the channel, and sometimes my life that doesn't always make it to my YouTube channel. So anyways, guys, hope you have a great day, great night, great weekend, whatever it is. Stay safe out there, and make sure to get out and explore your world, because there's so many incredible things to see and do. You don't want to miss it. Like always, guys, I'll see you real soon in the next video.